we have one more award, and we're calling this last award our Legacy Award. And some of you have had long tenures in career and technical education and in supporting countless numbers of students. Some of your students have become teachers now in career and technical education or workforce development efforts or in other areas of our communities. And it's really not possible to measure the impact of somebody's legacy, but we want to recognize one in particular today, and here to recognize that person is Susan Adams and Diana Hegland.
Neat. Well, Diana, we didn't say what order we're going in, but I'll go ahead and just jump in. Hi, I'm Susan Adams. I'm with SkillSource, and I have had the pleasure of working with Dennis since August of 2013. My director, Dave Peterson, said, you're going to meet with Dennis today, and you're going to meet with Diana on a new grant. And many of you may not know, there were a couple iterations of Career Connect Washington that started out in 2013. Career Readiness for a Working Washington. Then there was YouthWorks. And so we were one of the 6 Workforce Development Councils chosen to do a pilot program back in 2013 when Dave said, hey, you're meeting with Dennis and Diana. And Diana and Dennis had just started with Wenatchee School District. I think I may have met with them on their first or second day of employment with the school district. And then shortly thereafter, I had the opportunity to take a road trip to Olympia. And we had many more of those road trips. Since 2013, just been involved with Dennis with multiple projects, of which he always brought such an amazing variety of skills to our team. I think one of the things that comes to me first and foremost is Dennis is so creative. And if those of you don't know, he has an art background, and he's a great artist, by the way. But he always came up with all these titles and mottos, and never my strength, but he'd be, flip the switch or building blocks, or he always was great at figuring out how we were going to package what we were doing. The other thing about Dennis is he was an excellent brainstormer. And he was a true brainstormer. A lot of times you start brainstorming and you start, oh, that would be wrong, or this. There were no wrong answers with Dennis. He loved to generate ideas. Also, I always loved Dennis's ability to be a storyteller. And so he and Diana had so many both had great strengths in this area. And I always loved when we would need to go into a room and there might be an ask or a sales pitch, because we just push Dennis right to the front. If he didn't make it happen, then Diana would come right behind him. And I think the other thing about Dennis that just sets him out there is he doesn't have any fear. He really believes in this work. And I really think that came through in one of the last projects that I worked with him on, and that was the Computer Tech 1 apprenticeship program. It was the first youth apprenticeship program under Career Connect Washington that was approved in the state that involved youth. And Dennis never gave up, and there were a lot of roadblocks with that program. And even after he left and took on his new role, he continued to help push that program forward. And I think the last thing about Dennis that I think about is he's such a relationship builder. Dennis understands the importance of just building and maintaining relationships. He doesn't know a stranger, and he's always that person in the room making sure that everyone is comfortable. So for me, since 2013, I've witnessed Dennis' relentless support of CTE and career connected learning. He's an educator, he's a coach, he's an administrator that has never forgotten why he shows up for work every day, and that's to make a difference in young adult lives. He's devoted his career to impacting the lives of young adults and those around him. I'm certainly a better person and educator because of my opportunity to work with Dennis. And he's certainly an individual that I'm just proud to call my friend. Dennis, it's time for you to go explore those mountains, to go camping, and most of all, to enjoy your wife and children and grandchildren. Thank you for being you as you transition in your life.
Boy, Susan, I think you and I may have had our brains in the room somewhere along the way, because my notes are in line with yours. So I'm Diana Hagland, now Communications Director for the Wenatchee School District, and I'm glad I was able to get on the call because our network went down. So I'm coming to you live through my cell phone because I didn't want to miss this opportunity to really speak highly of my friend Dennis. So to kind of, I guess, support a lot of what Susan said and thinking about what I was going to say today, I remembered that Dennis is very thoughtful and he will never forget your birthday or anniversary or kids' birthdays. And he gave me one year a cup that says, "Do what they say cannot be done." And I still have that mug and I still drink from it and think fondly about Dennis and our time together. But I think that really kind of quantifies my experience in career connected learning with Dennis. He was never afraid of a challenge. And he is all about the experience and doing things that can't be done. He's a competitor, he's an athlete, a coach. And so it was game day when there was a challenge, and we faced several in our time together. But Dennis was doing career connected learning before it was a thing, both through life and learning and his career as an educator. As Susan said, a talented artist. I have many paintings in my home from Dennis and are always fond reminders of my good friend, but also a cheerleader and supporter of professionals too, his CTE staff. He was the number one cheerleader for all of them, whether they were doing a presentation, winning an award, or just being in their classroom. He was there to listen and support them. And Dennis always has a great story to tell, a yarn, just adds that element of fun. There's always lots of laughs when we were planning some really difficult things. We touched a lot of lives together in our work, both Dennis and Susan and I together collectively with many community partners, with many educators. We got power tools in the hands of over 1,000 young girls, the first class of which just graduated yesterday, or excuse me, felt like yesterday, last week on Friday from Wenatchee High School. That was our first group of girls that went through Pizza Pop and Power Tools. There were girls that, sorry, I'm getting a note saying internet down. We lobbied for CTE both on the state's capital, but Dennis also took me to Washington, D.C. to lobby for CTE and really showcase what Wenatchee had to offer. We cheated death many times on our travels back and forth to Olympia to do that work. And Dennis really is a major player and really the connective tissue for CTE, both in our state and in our nation, definitely a key player there. So Dennis, you have led a career with such purpose and touched the lives of so many students and educators. You've made an impact that's probably deeper than you know. You would call it the ripple effect. And that is so true. That is who you are. And you have left a legacy in the Wenatchee School District that we are continuing to build upon. And I want to thank you for that. School's out forever, Dennis. Congratulations on your retirement and congratulations on this award.
Dennis, do you want to say anything before?
I just wish I was there in person for hugs and handshakes, and I will miss all of you, and thank you for those wonderfully kind words and inflated opinions of what I've done. Thank you.
Aaron's got his head in his hands there when you say that. I think we're all sort of used to your humility, and I think your legacy is one of those ones that we all kind of aspire to have. It's pretty impressive.